The 10th film in the Fast Saga, still can't believe we're calling it that, is finally here with perhaps its most personal story yet. This is my review of Fast and Furious 9. In this movie, Dominic Toretto and his family reunite once again to battle the most skilled assassin and high-performance driver they've ever encountered, Dom's forsaken brother, and a whole bunch of other insane shit that we'll get to in a bit. But before I dive into my thoughts on this film, let me know how excited you are for Fast 9. Are you a fan of the saga from the beginning, since number 5? How do you rank the movies? Let me know all of that in the comments. We'll start the conversation. Is always the most important part, and while you're down there, consider clicking the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. It does wonders to get the content out there, and you'll always be aware of whenever more great content is up. And just so you know my standpoint, if you're new to the channel, I wasn't a fan of these films. Even the 5th one, which everybody liked, I waited like a year until I watched it. I watched the trailer for 6. I love the trailer for 6, and then I watched 5 right before the 6th one came out. Love 6. It's my personal favorite, and I've enjoyed the films ever since number 5, 6, 7, 8, and Hobbs and Shaw. So I was excited for this film because I love that these movies are stupid. I love that these movies know they are stupid and they embrace the stupidity. This film does that. It's got bombastic, exuberant action set pieces. They are big and they get bigger as the film goes along. Kind of makes the previous movies look tame because of just how stupid this is. I was never bored. I will say that much. There's not a moment to be bored in here because everything is so packed, everything is so big, something is always happening. The film does not stop. And I like these characters, and I like the actors that play these characters, even with the fact that they spoiled so much in one trailer alone, and I've only watched the first trailer. I was still coming into this film expecting, hey, give me a whole lot of fun so I can shove popcorn in my face and enjoy the summer. In that regard, this is kind of the movie you want to see. If the trailers worked for you, this is the movie you want to see. However, the Fast Saga, the more ridiculous they became, they kind of embraced that for the past few movies. But when it comes to Fast 9, it feels like there's a cynicism and an arrogance towards that. Like they're saying to you, hey, we know we're stupid and you're buying it, so here's more stupidity, without ever thinking about it. The opening action sequence of this film shows just how everything else is wrong. We start with a big action sequence where we do not understand the stakes, we do not care for the stakes, we don't know why our characters care for the stakes, and everything is treated in such a mundane manner. The characters barely react to things that supposedly would be shocking. On paper, you can clearly tell, okay, this is a big moment, this is a big beat for the characters, but there's not a single moment of reaction. The trailers spoil that Han comes back to life somehow, and the way they explain it is the tamest possible way of doing it that just convolutes the entire history of the franchise and makes things even more unnecessarily complicated. The charm of the Fast and Furious is that it's pretty simple to understand what is going on. But this film treats itself like a big mystery box that they're finally opening. Except the mystery box didn't ever exist. They just created this mystery box for this one movie, and now they're unraveling all these complicated, interconnected plots that do not add up whatsoever. The film is also riddled with flashbacks that not only kill the pacing of the film, but also they make no sense. They're just exposition. It's not like the film goes into these flashbacks because Dom or Jakob or anyone at all is thinking about these moments. It's just, hey, audience, you need to know this piece of information, so here you go. And you didn't really need to know all those things. There is about a half an hour of flashbacks in this film. This film runs at 2 hours and 25 minutes. it could have been just an hour and 50. And you know what? Since they're using flashbacks, you know what would be even better than Mia telling Letty that she and Jakob were actually pretty close when they're young, showing us that they're really close when they were young. You're using unnecessary flashbacks already. At least do one interesting flashback. I was also really disappointed with the use of John Cena in this film. I don't personally love John Cena as an actor, but the very idea of Dom having a long-lost brother that now became evil, yes, makes Dom feel hypocritical because he always preaches about family and suddenly he has a brother no one ever heard of except for Letty. But the way he is used leaves so little impact in this film. Vin Diesel barely reacts when he first sees his brother, and as reveals coming to the film, there's barely any reaction at all from him or from Mia herself, or even from Jakob for that matter. Even when they're fighting, there's no moment to understand their motivations, to see how they're reacting to the fact that they're fighting each other, they're fighting family, but the very things they do to each other almost have no reactions. These characters die 100 times over during the course of this film and they don't react. They're just alive. They even make it a joke in the film, how barely anything happens to them, how they can still walk to this day after so many of their adventures. Not to mention that Jakob, being the supposedly super skilled assassin and really smart guy, he doesn't really do much in this film. It's just a bunch of ha gotcha moments consecutively happening throughout the runtime of the film. The worst part is that they bring back one of their best villains in Charlize Theron's Cypher, and she's literally stuck in a cage for most of the runtime. Yeah, really. And that really hurts because they had a formula that was working, but they still had foundations in character, what these characters mean to each other, what their relationships are like. But in this moment, it's just about the ridiculous action without any weight behind it. Not to mention that you can predict every big shift in the film from a mile away, and it either feels repetitive, it feels unnecessary, and makes the film feel over-bloated with things that you can see coming a mile away. Fast and Furious 9 is a fun movie. It's bombastic, it's big, it's bold, it's audacious, but it barely leaves an impression because you've seen all of it before and you've seen all of it done better in this very franchise. If you're excited for Fast 9, go into it with an open mind. I think you're going to really enjoy yourself. If you're like me, a bit hesitant, I guess you're going to need this movie for continuity, but you can wait around on it. There's a really good post-credit scene, so at least there's that. I'm giving Fast and Furious 9 a C. I really wanted to love this film. I'm all in for the ridiculousness, but I need something to grab onto, and if we don't have these characters, we really have nothing. And so those are my thoughts on Fast 9. Let me know what you think, if you're still excited, if you're expecting it to be your new favorite movie of the franchise, if you've already seen it, all of that in the comments. Don't forget to start the conversation, and if you watched the video thus far but still haven't subscribed, do not lie to yourself. You've enjoyed the video on some level, so do it. Do it now for family. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. Stay tuned for many more reviews to come throughout this week. I hope to see you in those. So until then, love each other and love the movies.